Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I'm gonna mute you for just a sec. You can message me when you want me to unmute you. You're being a little loud. All right, everyone. Welcome to HSD, a place to critically think. I'm joined here with Chatty Daddy, I guess you could say my unofficial co-host. So today we're going to be responding to Fresh and Fit and some of their defenses for some of their guests that have come onto their show. And more or less, we're really going to be asking the question if Fresh and Fit are pro-grape advocates, because we can't say certain words on YouTube. So here we go. Yo, Chad, you there?
Yeah. I
Okay.
moved my chair and it made that noise. Sorry.
No worries. Mute yourself when you make loud noises. It's all good. So present. Video share. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yo, you there? You can hear this? Okay. So tell me if you can hear it. Okay. You can hear it?
I can't hear it. No.
Okay. Can't hear anything?
I can hear you, but no, I can't hear.
Yeah, StreamYard's annoying. Okay, so one sec. Share screen. Share system audio. Like that. Okay. Okay. Can you let me know if you can hear this? Can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, man. It's a great story of turnaround and redemption. Not a lot of people get the chance that you got. And I mean, you had a quote where you said, I've always heard juvenile justice advocates say,
Wait, what the fuck is going on? Oh, god damn it. Okay, one sec. Streaming. Fucking hate StreamYard sometimes. Okay, so share screen. Oh, I'm not sharing a window, that's why. I keep thinking I'm sharing a window. Okay, fuck. Okay, Okay, everyone, so just give me a second. I'm just going to promote this stream really quick. If anyone's watching, that is. Give me a sec, everybody. Alright, here we go. Hey, Chetty, you there?
Yeah.
So I guess before we get started on this, what is your opinion towards people drinking a lot of alcohol, and if they can consent afterwards? Can someone consent if they are drunk AF? Can someone consent if they're drunk AF? You know what I mean? Going to a party.
Well, unless I don't understand. Let me put it this way: I don't understand what consent means if it has some sort of requirement for intelligence or something. I guess we draw this line between I guess a rational adult, right? Making a decision, and then some other person making a decision, whether they're intoxicated or a child or something. But I don't know what that line is especially because if we're looking at it in terms of intelligence, especially because like the average adult is really stupid. So I mean,
Oh, are you saying the average adult's too stupid to consent?
what I'm saying the average adult is really stupid. So if there was some intelligence requirement, it would be really easy to, say that average adults can't consent to sex. So, I mean, usually when I use the word consent, if I were to use the word, I would just mean that it was done willingly and it has nothing to do with intelligence. Like even even an infant could consent to. I mean, I don't think you should have sex with infants, obviously, but
Whoa. That's really controversial. Like, so wait. I don't believe an infant can. Do you believe that there's a concept of valid consent? So in other words, like, do you believe that not all consent is equal? Like, for example, somebody who's like, say, an infant, right, or like 12-year-old, they cannot consent to somebody who's like 30-year-old to engage in sexual acts. Like, do you believe in the concept of valid consent?
well, what do you mean by valid? There, you're saying valid consent.
So I'm not saying valid philosophically. I'm saying valid practically. Like, there are certain forms of consent that
You mean a type of consent that ought to be
considered. Like,
like
so there's like
considered?
my basically what I'm trying to say is like, do you believe children should be able to consent to have sex with older adults? In other words, so when I'm referring to valid consent, I'm not referring to it philosophically valid. When I'm like the term valid consent, when it's referred to, like in definitions of consent, it's saying that there's certain types of consent that are not worth respecting. So, for
I
example, like a 9-year-old consenting to have sex with a 30-year-old, 50-year-old man, my opinion, it's not valid consent. So consent has to be valid.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that even if it is the case that a 9-year-old would consent, at least in the way that I was using the term,
Mm-hmm.
to sex with an older person, that older person still shouldn't have sex with them. And, I think I would agree with that. But when you put it in terms of like, okay, but then they're not consenting, well,
Well,
that's
it's
just not how
not
I would use the language. Or, I mean,
yeah, but the reason why people recognize that language is because they don't recognize certain people's ability to consent. Like
well,
at
I
that
don't know
point,
what
at that point,
consent
you could just
means.
at that point you could basically legalize raping children. Like that's sort of the problem with this. That's sort of the problem.
Why? Why
Well,
could you legalize raping children if you use my definition of consent? Actually, that would never be the case. Like changing the definition of words isn't going to change any um, synthetic.
so yeah,
Right? So
I think the point which I'm trying to say here is like the argument that I'm making is when there is some level of valid consent, um, when there's some level of like when there's some level of valid consent, I'm sorry. The point at which I'm trying to make here is that to try and use certain phrases, if you basically if you allow certain types of words to be used in certain ways, or at least if you recognize certain people's ability to consent, that in and of itself gives merit towards someone's decision. So what I'm trying to say here is like if you recognize that a 9-year-old quote unquote consented to something, like you could recognize in a sense that they may have claimed that they consented. They may have maybe a position that they hold or that they have said. But the reason why a lot of people say that 9-year-olds can't consent is because it's not a consent that they recognize as legitimate. So, like, when I say valid consent, I mean legitimate consent.
Valid and legitimate, like, aren't helping me here. Like, if you were saying something like it's a type of consent such that if it's given, then it's like morally acceptable to like go through with whatever thing, right? Like I could understand something like that, but words like valid and legitimate don't. Is that what you're saying? Just that it's a type of consent such that if it's given, then it's morally acceptable to do whatever it was that is being consented to.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's like early in the morning. So yeah, I think like what I'm saying is like there's a certain type of consent that we should recognize, and there's a certain type of consent we should not recognize. As yeah. So like, for example, I don't.
Saying that like I should change my definition of the word consent for some reason.
Well, what was your definition?
Yeah, I mean it just means willingness. That's how I would use it.
Okay, yeah. So like, so I have a different definition of consent, and the reason being is because I'm just saying it sort of gives passive merit towards abusers. Like for example, so if, like for example, someone could technically be willing to do something, but they might be willing to do something because they're intoxicated or because they're drugged out of their mind. Or somebody might be willing to do something when they're a minor and they don't really, they might change their opinion as they grow older and feel taken advantage of. So, like, when I use consent, I'm referring to willingness, not only willingness to engage in something, but having the mental capacity to, of lack of impairment in order to make a decision. So it's not that you can't, or at least,
so you're saying lack the mental capacities to make a decision.
No. The ability to make a mental decision with the lack of mental impairment. So in other words, like, or at least, it means like with very little mental impairment.
Okay, but
so in other words, like maybe having a beer isn't like, sexually exploiting someone, but like getting someone to drink, like, I don't know, getting someone smashed blackout drunk, that person is too impaired in order to claim that they're willing. Or
okay.
maybe there'd be a better definition, because I didn't come into this with like some sort of definition.
Yeah, if you're saying impaired,
like honestly, like Chatty, I didn't really expect this for you to have this position. It's just we're in a live stream and you're saying something that could come across as extremely sussy. So now I'm trying to like flesh things out with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's sussy, maybe, but I'm just telling you how I use the word. Like that.
No.
Doesn't even involve a name.
Yeah, that's fine, but like I think we can recognize that not all willingness acts are worthy of being respected, right? So obviously a 9-year-old who's willing to do a sexual act like a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, that's fucked up. That should not be legally respected. We can agree upon that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the same way that we, ideally should condemn someone who's severely blacked out, drunk, and intoxicated, who's claiming, who's in the moment they seem like they're willing to engage in a sexual act. Like that should not be respected. Like we can agree upon that, right?
Well, actually, that one I think it depends. I'm not really sure.
Okay, so you haven't thought too much about it.
Yeah. So
like,
I can think of a couple of different situations. Like if there were one where the person or what's the word I'm looking for? Generally isn't very sexually promiscuous. It might be distressing to them if they found out that they got really drunk and then had sex with somebody. Like, so then maybe it at the time when they're really drunk, their wishes shouldn't be taken into consideration like that they want to have sex, right? But
Yeah.
if it's someone who does that all the time, who gets drunk and has sex, then I don't think that it would be distressing for them to find out that, oh, last Friday I got blackout drunk and then had sex with somebody.
Yeah, there's certain people that actually go into parties with that intention, but in my opinion, like, regardless of that intention, a part of me just finds it unfavorable. Like, don't get me wrong, someone who goes into a party with the intention of getting blacked out drunk and having sex with somebody, that is nowhere near as bad as someone who didn't. Having sex with someone who didn't. But yeah, like, we more or less we agree that not all forms of willingness are worthy of being respected in the face of the law, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, obviously, like, teachers having sex with like high school kids, that's fucked up, right? Like, we can agree upon that, right? Okay, yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna get started on the live stream. I shilled my channel out. So yeah, just one sec. So yeah, let's get it started. So basically, more or less, we're really going to be asking the question in this live stream, like, is this guy, like, a fucking creeper, or is this guy Charleston White? Because, I think I saw the Abram Preach video, and then I started trying to find more clips of him, and I wanted to see if, like, maybe there was a more charitable interpretation of some very foul things he said. But with that being said, we're also going to be looking at some of the parts of the Abram Preach video. And I think what the audience and what I will probably agree upon is that Fresh and Fit, somebody who brought on Fresh and Fit, who brought on Charleston White, definitely has a lot to think about when it comes towards their argumentation and the position that they hold. But with that being said, let's get this rock and rolling. Yo, Chad, are you there? I need to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So can you hear the clip?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna play now. So I'm just gonna mute my mic on this side.
Yeah, man, it's a great story of turnaround and redemption. Not a lot of people get the chance that you got. And I mean, you had a quote where you said, I've always heard juvenile justice advocates say, if I could just reach one kid, then I've done my job. And you were that one kid. Job well done.
And by them reaching me, man, I was able to go back. My organization has 50 other men and women who all committed murders when they was children. So right now, I can show up at any high school with 52 weeks in a year, and I can bring a killer before a crowd of kids and tell them I can tell them everything they want to hear. And I tell them everything they want to hear so I can tell them motherfuckers everything they need to hear. This is what redemption look like, man. Not the internet persona of the mother. This is what redemption really looks like, right? Because I wanted to kill. I wanted to be gangster. I wanted to take your daughter's pussy. If she came over here to fuck my homeboy, she go fuck all of us. We thought that was the culture, right? Nigga, you run a train on the bitch. So nigga, we were raping too. We were getting them drunk, sneaking shit, man. We were raping too, but that was the culture, we thought, right? So now we all grew up. And I got 50 other individuals who all say the same thing I said. Man, that juvenile system saved our lives. The only difference is they was transferred to prison on their 18th birthdays, right? Some of them recommendation was to go home, unlike me, right? But they went on to serve 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 years incarcerated for a crime that they committed at age 12, 13, and 14. So they come home 27 years later. It's a youth organization in a program where we met as children. Now we're adults living productive lives with pro-social values, loving fathers, pillars in our communities. And none of us have gone back to prison. So we defied the odds, right? Because they was able to save that one. I was that one, man. And so I reached back and I went and got all my niggas that done them murders as kids. And we met in the juvenile system and we created programs. Now we go back inside the same facility that used to keep us locked up and we teach these programs. Not only that, we go to state legislation and we testify before House committees and congressional hearings to get laws changed that affect children in our state.
Oh shit. Yo, Chad, you there? I was muted the whole time. Yo, Chad, you there?
Yeah.
So I think now everyone now has an idea of who this person is, Charleston White. And he said some things that I could definitely say I would find as a bit disturbing. With that being said,
I watched that video and I don't think they said anything societally unacceptable.
I mean, like, obviously, like, the things he did in his past was pretty terrible, but, like, that's not so much in this video. So we're gonna skip through some of Abba and Preach's video, and then we're gonna be looking at some other clips from Charleston White, and then we're gonna be coming back to this clip because I think at the end of it all, I really want to drive home the point that I think Fresh and Fit, I think they need to actually understand like a better nuance of even the position of the people they're bringing onto their show. But yeah, so with that being said, I'll press play. Do you have any thoughts on Charleston White so far? Any thoughts on him?
Can you use your string?
Pardon me?
So it doesn't echo.
Oh shit. What's up?
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe you're talking about Fresh and Fit, but I mean, this guy, he compared like, I mean, he was talking about having sex with women, getting them drunk and having sex with them. He was talking about that in the same breath as murder. So certainly, like it seems like he's saying that that's terrible.
Yeah. But there's other things he said, which you'll see later on. That was definitely the lighter takes he's had, but I will continue. You'll see. All right, so let's go.
Shall I hit play?
Oh, yes, you shall.
We used to run trains on white girls.
Choo choo. Shout out Robin Hood. It's okay. You're just running trains. Not the worst thing in the world. If a girl want to have a choo-choo train ran on her,
Oftentimes, they don't want to. I'm not saying that it's always the case, but oftentimes, when you run a train, they are being set up. And that's the problem with choo-choo, is I didn't buy the tickets for all those passengers. Yo, they go to the apartment, there's one dude there, oh yeah, that's just my roomie, whatever, whatnot. Then they getting it on, and then next thing you know, the door opens and 4 or 5 niggas come in. The train thing, yeah, it's a funny thing to joke about and stuff like that, but the reality is, most of them girls don't want that.
We used to do it without permission. So it's not like she came over and said, hey, I want to sleep with all you guys.
Yeah.
We said, hey, man, that white girl like you. Get over here. And then we put
shit.
And then we put shit.
Oh my God. And you realize Fresh and Phil were like, oh shit. Wait, he already said it. I guess we're not gonna stop him. Oh shit. Because even they realize this is a fucking weird thing to say.
Yeah. We just come in with dicks out.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
We might have to go off Twitch. Yeah. Okay, Twitch.
A dude literally just got on camera and pretty much admitted she didn't want it. We just showed up with dicks out and things happened. Now some of you might be like, why did she fight or whatever? Imagine a bunch of dudes and you trap. That's why they lured her there. That's the thing. It's like, if you guys want to get involved with her, do this, that's fine. Just tell her beforehand, see if she wants to do it. No, you wait till she's there, where she's surrounded by dudes who are bigger and stronger than her, and then you pop it on her. Okay. Well, when the police come for your ass and you say it was consensual, you won't get any of my sympathy. They can throw your ass in jail. Because you're not only out here self-snitching, but you doing shit that's fucking disgusting.
I verbally abuse women. You got and I'm mentally abusive, and I do some psychological abuse. It all wants what the do. I'm a man that strongly believe that some women need their ass whooping they pussy too. So I'll advocate rape too for some people.
Woo! Whoa!
I told you.
Shit!
I told you.
Yo!
I told you.
Hey! Yo!
I told you.
Hey! Hey! Yo! Hey!
This is the type of person these red pills like to hang out with. I'm just saying.
Nah, B.
Oh.
Yeah,
We might have to go off Twitch. Yeah. Okay, Twitch.
Yo. Hold on, homie, you gotta think about it. We're kids, right? We're kids.
Yeah.
Because not only
It was a different era. It was a different time. Yeah, that was a
Toy
culture
trains?
back then, unfortunately.
Okay. A lot of you people out there really consider yourself red pill. Your community will never be taken seriously if you guys, because you're big. Red pill is.
I think like I can pause it for a sec there, and we can maybe discuss a little bit. Yo, Chad, are you there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like one of my big issues, like when it comes down to these types like really controversial statements, is one, a part of me thinks immediately this is like a super big red flag, but then I also ask myself like, what is, to be like, and this is where actually I did a lot of digging and I found some. It's either going to come across later as conflicting takes, like it's either he's backtracking, or he has a different definition than what most people might use. But either way, I think at the end of this all, I think Fresh and Fit is probably at least going to look the worst. But yeah, I think you now know what I mean by he said some very controversial things, like to the point where after everything I've looked at, like some of the things that this guy has said, which y'all will see later on, he either seems like he has a different definition of what most people use, or he just seems inconsistent. Or just like bad marketing.
Well, it's a little bit unclear to me. That was the same guy, right, who was talking about his past. Well, what did Fresh and Fit say? Right.
1 sec, actually. I'm going to give an invite.
Maybe I missed it. But it sounds like this guy was talking about his past on Fresh and Fit and like the bad things that he's done. And then I guess they were laughing about it. Maybe that's something that you shouldn't do, but
well, I think what's most disturbing isn't even so much laughing. I think what's like most disturbing to me is like it's one thing to like laugh and then to get serious at somebody, but I think what's most like I think when someone tells you that in the past they've raped, like the first thing you should probably do. Sure, you can knock them out. Sure, you can scream at them. Sure, you can yell at them. But, like, immediately what you should do is you should ask them, hey, do you condemn your past behavior? Like, what would you should immediately try to turn it into a message that should not normalize and or remove the stigma of such an action. Like, you should try to frame the conversation something that's going to be constructive for the audience and the next generation. But I think, like, I didn't watch the full Fresh and Fit podcast, but these guys are kind of ass clowns. And to be honest, what disturbs me isn't so much like their behavior now; it's actually later on. So maybe Fresh and Fit did that because I didn't watch their full clip. You know what I mean? But it's Fresh and Fit.
Yeah.
That's not what disturbed me the most, whether they did or didn't. It's not what I thought about. Oh, Paradigm's gonna pop in a second. If he does, I'll use my alternative thumbnail. So yeah, we'll continue, but you now know what I'm saying. All right, one sec. Present, share screen. Okay, audio. Boom, boom. All right, everyone, here we go. So we're gonna go through a bit more now.
Morally reprehensible. Tell on yourself because we want you off these fucking streets.
So you
Audio test. You can hear you can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
get your motherfucking ass out of here. If you got a problem with what I say, I don't believe women shouldn't be beat. I think it's okay to whoop a hoe. You can't tell no man what.
Forcibly ran train. We forcibly used to white girls, and we used to sneak crack in the white girls' cigarettes to fuck them. We didn't sneak nothing in they drink. You lying on me. We didn't do the black girl like that. Only white girl, white boy. Get mad now. Get mad.
Jesus Christ.
Call it what it is. That's racism. No, it's no.
No, but black people, shut the fuck up. That right there.
You're about to experience a nigga moment.
So listen, it was one time we was going to go get this white girl. It was me, my nigga Montoya, my nigga Bone.
He's throwing all their names. Not only is he not. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo!
Goddamn niggas.
And another nigga named Cedric, and my nigga named, nah, it wasn't Cedric, it was a nigga named Jason. Jason Anderson.
He said it.
What a filthy, disgusting human being. What a filthy, disgusting human being. And you realize like a lot of these dudes associate with each other. It's like, it's weird to me how you constantly see folks who are a little bit sus hang around other people who are even more sus. Apparently this is his name, I think. Charleston White is the founder and CEO of Helping Young People Excel, an organization dedicated to educating teens and helping steer them away from future crime. The group has even worked directly with members of one of Texas's largest Hispanic gangs. You know what actually just dawned on me?
What?
Remember that clip we played from that podcast when Waka Flocka flipped?
Yeah.
It's something just dawned on me watching this video.
Dragging the show, it's about if you're going to make a statement, back it up.
The raping thing was wrong. Like I just didn't
What
want
part
to
was
go back.
incorrect? Which part was
You
incorrect?
were basically saying like a woman should just say no right then and there and leave. Not
Yeah,
all
they
girls
should.
can do that though.
Okay, but that's what they should do. That doesn't
That's
mean
what they
it's-
should do, but not all girls are able to.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
I'm guessing
I'm
us
honest.
women, right?
Whose fault is that? Maybe it's the dude who tried to get her massively drunk. Maybe it's the guy who invited her over for a one-on-one and then ambushed her with 7 other niggas. Maybe it's the dude who's been looking for a woman who's emotionally and mentally vulnerable and then manipulating her and coercing her and gaslighting her and beating her into submission. You know?
Hey, Paradigm, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you see like a little bit from there? I like
Yeah, I
your beard,
saw a
bro.
little bit.
Shit. So you want a short summary of like everything you missed? I'll give you like just a short rundown.
Sure.
Yeah, so some guy in the past has had a history of crime, and he's gotten out of it, and he now runs a organization to help people. But he said a lot of controversial things. I think probably one of the most controversial is that he has raped people in the past. He's a past murderer. He's a past gangbanger. but it's also how he sometimes addresses his past history of rape. And I don't know. I'm just reviewing the clips now, and I think what disturbs me the most isn't like it. Like I understand, like somebody who's like desensitized and who's gone through a gang banger life, they might be so far in that they might not see how fucked up they are. Like I can understand, like a Viking who had raped and pillaged might not mentally see how fucked up he is. You know what I mean? Oh shit, I shouldn't use the word. Grape. Okay, it's YouTube. But I think what's disturbing is when somebody actually who doesn't engage in those behaviors, somebody who has like that intuition not to do it, but they still kind of defend it. And that's something I'm actually noticing with like Fresh and Fit. There's like a clip. We'll go back for you and you'll see it. It's good for the audience because it's probably the most disturbing clip. Because like the guy, it's really weird too. Because like the guy has other clips where it almost seems conflict. Like it almost seems either inconsistent, or it seems like he it seems like one or two things. Is either he's inconsistent, or he backtracks, or he has just a different definition of what most people use with certain words. And then the rap people within the rap culture and gang culture, they have a tendency of sometimes talking about their past without any shame. Like a lot of past gang bangers do this all the time, even though they condemn what they've done. They talk like they don't condemn it sometimes. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking over everything and sort of kind of trying to help frame who this person is properly and charitably, but at the same time also, most importantly, because like regardless of his character, I think most importantly we should condemn Fresh and Fit's interpretation of it. So basically, he admitted to running trains. Basically, he would bring a girl over, and a white girl. Sometimes he'd even drug them too. Only white girls apparently, and actually I think only. And basically, in that he would have a bunch of other guys come along, and they would all, I'm not familiar with the fetish of train, but I'm assuming some sort of like gangbang them or something. Yeah, but basically, so we just watched a clip of that. Did you see that? Or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I don't know. My thoughts on that is like, I had a friend who dated a prostitute. Something he told me is, because I said that women should have to fight back for it to be called rape, and that's like, he gave a very good counter argument, and the counter argument was, if a woman fights back, and if she knows she's going to get raped, she's going to just get physically abused. So for someone who's getting raped, it might just be safer and easier just to accept it. Which is
not only that, but like there's the fear component as well. Some women are going to be so overcome with fear that they don't have the willpower to fight. Especially if they're not trained and they don't know how to fight, right? Like that's not going to make them compel them to feel like they're ready to defend themselves against an able-bodied man, right?
Yeah. Actually, have you done martial arts? I think you have, correct? Didn't you do jiu-jitsu?
Oh, jiu-jitsu? Yeah. I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and like it's helped me a ton in learning more about fighting. So
yeah, like I did a little bit of MMA, but realistically, like most of what I've done is like kung fu karate. Yeah. Man, I'd love to get back in MMA. But basically, like, yeah, if you're not trained to fight, like, I think a lot of people think humans are apex animals, and I've had this discussion with so many people when talking about veganism. I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion chatting on the clip in a second. So, if a human being hasn't actually been in a situation, like a fight or flight situation, like, I remember one of my martial arts teachers said this to me, that humans are, by default, we're more prey animals. And he had no scientific background. That was just his assumption, and he is so dead on. Like, we don't have claws. We're sort of designed in a lot of ways physiologically as foragers. But more importantly, when humans are exposed to danger, when they have had no previous training, no previous desensitization, usually, from what I've seen, when someone is like exposed to extreme danger when they've never been prepared, is that they either, usually run or freeze. Sometimes they fight.
Yeah, Those
You
are
know,
the three responses, like the fight, flight, or freeze response.
But
Those are the, yeah.
there's more. There's people who also beg, and there's people who also posture. You know, that like I'm so tough. I'm like you better not fuck with me. And there's people like that just beg for forgiveness. It's like when we're confronted with all these, you know, with conflict, I'd probably argue if I had to take a guess. I don't think most people, from what I've seen, instantly know how to, you know, they instantly fight. You know, most people don't just like go into John Wick mode. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Kill the man. Kill 3 men in a bar with nothing but a pencil. Yeah, it's
an entire army of goons and save one puppy.
Yeah, you know, most people aren't Doom Guy either. They're not gonna go to hell to like literally get their dog. You know, risk getting their whole body ripped out for a dog, or a bunny. I don't know, but
Right.
yeah, I think like so. Basically, when it comes down to it, I think what really upsets me about like the Oppression Fits interpretation is like this guy has admitted on their podcast that he's raped. He's admitted that he's ran trains on women. Like it's pretty obvious, and he admitted that it wasn't like these women did not sign up for this.
Yeah.
And they like, and immediately like I think what one of the women was saying is that not all women can like, you know, there's other emotions that are gonna overwhelm someone in a very traumatizing or very frightening moment.
Yeah.
And once it, like obviously like ideally women should say no, they should fight back. And ideally people like there's a difference between like individual responsibility, like what you ask yourself you could have done better as an individual, and then taking responsibility as an individual, and then there's a difference between moral responsibility and legal responsibility. Like morally, legally, those people are at fault for having like a fraudulent sexual like luring of a woman, luring a woman into a sexual situation she didn't consent to. Like that there's no excuse for that. They should have said something. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. It's extremely coercive.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna. Oh shit. Sure. So yeah, we're gonna get back to watching it now.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we're just gonna skip a little bit. Because like yeah, like their opinions, like yeah, you know, it's like coercion, this, that, the third. All this stuff's really fucked up. And I agree with Alvin Preach, but we're gonna skip here. Just gonna mute myself for 1 second. Everyone you might want to mute yourself during like the clip part.
Oh, we should get normalized telling people when they say dumb shit.
Like, we got to go back to telling people they're stupid. We need to go back to bullying people, letting them know, no, that's not really how the world works. You sound dumb. Change your way of thinking. But we don't bully people no more and tell them they're dumb. We need to go back to doing that.
Where's that energy for him? You didn't say nothing. This man came on and said he did one of the most despicable things a human being could possibly do. Zero pushback.
You were basically saying like a woman should just say no right then and there and leave. Not all girls can do that though.
Okay, but that's what they should do. That doesn't
That's
mean
what they should do, but not all girls are able to.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
I'm guessing us women, right? I'm not.
I'm guessing it's our fault. You gotta bear some responsibility.
I'm guessing. You're saying responsibility, but like we said, these men are two-faced. They are going to put on a front.
Who picked the man?
They put on a front.
Who picked the men? No, they're lying about who they are. Who picked the men? It's like, bitch, you want everybody to have a lie detector? Sometimes you get duped by somebody. Sometimes you think you're going on a one-on-one date. You show up and it's 7 other niggas.
They're never gonna say nothing about that.
No, it's like every part of the discourse, and what you said earlier was really facts about this being the other side of feminism. The same way like feminists will just be blind. I'll believe all women. This is like it's always women's fault.
I'm
Anyone got some thoughts on that? Anyone want to give their opinion?
No, I think whoever that guy was, he said the exactly correct thing. It's the opposite of the crazy feminism where they say women are always right. This guy's like, women are always in the wrong. They're drugged and raped, and then it's their fault. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure if like Charleston White admitted to drugging these women, but like on their podcast. But yeah. It's like like I think the problem with like a lot of feminists out there is that they don't take as much of an issue when there's inequality to men. But I think that I've seen like some changes with like the fourth wave of feminism. But that's just like anecdotal. For all I know, it could be worse. But there's like a portion of like the red pill, and I think a lot of the red pill are really, really bad at this. You know, maybe even worse than the feminists, because of like societal lack of recognition societally, they just tend to, and the manosphere people, they tend to like really like insulate and defend men and their personal interests, and they'll argue for certain principles that they want, ideally, like attaining accountability and responsibility, but they apply it when it suits their personal interests. Like I've had this talk with Paradigm, and I think you before chatting with even the vegan community. Like a lot of people use their moral principles very parasitically and very manipulatively. Like their arguments are really at the end of the day psychological manipulation because they don't actually believe what they're saying. Their arguments are designed to strategically draw empathy when it suits a narrative, it suits a self-interest. Like that's my opinion. And I think like what really disturbs me is like, I hate to say this, but the average person isn't that good at like arguing. The average person isn't the smartest person. A lot of these girls on their show are just the average person. They're not trained debaters, you know. And she's not wrong. Not every girl is able to. She might not have been able to really articulate herself in the heat of the moment, but she did articulate that these men are putting on like a face. Like not everyone has like a lie detector test. Like if everyone did, I think everyone, like I promise you, there would be 1/3. Like everyone would have not dated 1/3 of their exes if everyone had a lie, like an instant like lie detector. You know, like they could just magically tell. Paradigm, you got something to say?
Well, I was just gonna mention that like the type of people that tend to get into like gangs and sort of like violent coercive lifestyles and where they're exploiting other people and whatnot, they have a tendency to be like ASPD presenting type individuals. And I'm not saying that this guy's been diagnosed or anything, but it's common for people with ASPD to have very narcissistic traits and to have very low empathy. And, you know, these sorts of things could explain like the reactions that we're seeing. But, you know, I did like what they were saying as well. You know, I obviously, you know, lie detectors don't work very well as they are now. But like if we hypothetically had like a perfect lie detector that we could give out to people.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like if we had a magical lie detector.
Yeah, there we go.
like hoes don't be rolling down the street with like a magical lie detector.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's important to point that out because some people they think that like lie detectors are like this. Oh wow, this really amazing technology that's just going to tell you when somebody's lying. But like, to be honest, they're pretty unreliable. They're not really acceptable in court, and like, they're like it's really a shoddy technology compared to like more other technologies and whatnot. But like we so far we've not been able to get a very reliable way to tell when someone's lying.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say, one of the best ways that I think to tell when someone is lying is to learn how to read body language and notice their baseline behavior, notice deviations from their baseline behavior, and know what the different deviations can mean. And it's not foolproof, but by any means. But when you start to see clusters of behaviors that deviate from their norm, like you can notice like things that they won't be necessarily willing to divulge. You know, you can be like, it seems like they're being dishonest here, right? And so, and that's just something you can learn from like studying psychology and like I like to watch a lot of true crime where they analyze like interview tapes with criminals, and so you see a lot of that from there.
I think for me, like a big thing for like analyzing like liars is I think like liars have this tendency of like I think like especially when it comes to like dating, I'm like really skeptical of how people dress, how people talk, and their body language. Like, so if there's somebody who's like really, really, really attractive, a part of me is instantly skeptical. Like, I'm skeptical of people who have lots of options, especially if I think they're being exploitative or something. Like, for example, if every night I see this girl talking to random guys and going home with them, I don't know if that person is somebody who just sleeps with random people at the bar, or if this person is a prostitute who sleeps with random people, and then the next day they tell them that they were a prostitute and they want money. Like that does happen. Where some girl randomly sleeps with you at a bar, and then she, next morning she tells you that you owe her like $100. Like that's just like one hypothetical, but like then we apply this to women, like the same thing. Like, my dad was a player. He dressed nice. He cared about his jewelry. He cared about his watches. Like, I'm sorry, but a lot of these guys who look really good, these guys that look high value, whatever you want to call it, these guys that look way more than casual, to me, right off the bat, they're a red flag. And the reason being is because my dad was one of them. And he did a lot of cheating. Love my dad. But the thing is like, I think what I'm trying to say here is like, I think like it's not just like how you talk and how your body language is. That's great, but I think a part of it is also how you dress, how you look, and just being skeptical of.
Yeah, true. I feel you there. And then I think that also, like, it's worth mentioning that ASPD presenting type individuals, they also tend to be more of the party types, the ones that are like charming, the ones that like can lure people into vulnerable situations and take advantage of them, and it's interesting how that tends to play out. And we know that ASPD tends to develop with people who are traumatized themselves. But of course, that's no excuse for their behavior later in life. But yeah.
Chad, do you have any more opinions? Because I need to quickly put in Paradigm's channel in the description.
No, I think I said what I believe.
All right, I'm gonna just quickly give Paradigm, for anyone that wants to see Paradigm, I'm just gonna put him in the description. So if you refresh it a bit, you should, not now, but in just a sec, you should see Paradigm's. Give him a little love.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Thank you. I appreciate the love.
Oh, good, man. But yeah, it's just, I think, honestly, what inspired me to condemn this is, like, I think I had a history of somewhat being in this type of genre in the manosphere. Just because I was always kind of interested in, like, the dating subject, I guess. I was always interested in e-psych, but I think, like, as I got older and as I thought, like, cause it was, like, a quick fall away. Like, every content creator, it's like, after a few weeks, a few days, I would instantly start hating them. And I think I just kind of enjoy criticizing these people because I kind of hate them. Alright. So, everyone ready? Oh, fuck. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, mute up.
This is like, it's always women's fault.
I'ma just leave. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable when it comes down to the whole conversation and where you guys stand on
All right,
that.
bye. All right, later. Bye.
There's no need to be rude.
Just
I
leave.
mean, like,
Just
bye.
2 more minutes. How you feel versus what's real are two different things.
All right, later. Bye.
We've debunked culture. Culture is a myth.
Culture is a myth. You literally had a rapist on and you didn't say a fucking word to him. I don't know. I'm gonna call it grape culture. I don't like that term either, but it do seem like you protecting your own. Just saying. When they talk about how these men protect each other, that sounds like you. Because when he came on and said he did that shit, where was your pushback? You ex-law enforcement, but you sitting here cozying up with grapists. Okay. I keep forgetting about that shit. Yeah, he's a whole fed sitting here beside a rapist proudly. And this man runs, the Charleston white dude runs a program for the youth? Yeah, crazy, bro. Shit is wild out here. It really is some of the worst people on the planet leading young men. But anyways, anything else? I told you. Listen, I played 2 seconds of the clip. I need to watch this preach. I didn't know what was going to be.
But this shit is.
I didn't know what this shit going to
Miss Shanika or Ms. Shanika shouted. Hey. In the building with us this morning, man. I'm gonna cut all the fluff because man, it's one of the moments. It's one of the moments. You sit back and you watch countless memes, you watch countless clips from different platforms being shared, reposted, whether you like it or whether you hate it. This guest that we got in the building with us has set a new tone in the culture.
Yes.
For the culture. Some may even say against the culture. To each his own.
It's definitely changing the culture and being heard though, for sure.
In the studio with us this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only, Charleston
I'm glad to be here, homie. I appreciate the invite. I gotta ask you this. There was an interview that we seen, and you spoke on raping women.
Yes, ma'am.
Is rape being used as an acronym, or did you really mean that women can use some raping or need some raping?
Yes, ma'am. Most people don't realize that rap culture is rape culture. Rap culture is rape culture. We don't learn how to have consensual sex in rap. It's get her drunk, get her high, find out what she like to do to alter her mind. That's rape according to the law. When we running trains, we grew up running trains. We come from an era of loot. Hey, we want some peace. If you listen to those lyrics, that's about running a train. So when we was kids, 4th, 5th grade, he said we were listening to that. By the time we started having sex in 6th and 7th grade, we raping. We coming in there, one guy, she just want to have sex with one of us. But all 4 of us fit a hit. And we all go hit. That was rape. We don't know we raping until I grow up and understand the law. Okay. If you get with a woman and your intent is to get her drunk, you're raping her.
Pop the bottles.
You're raping her.
Provide the drugs, whatever she like.
So when she get initiated into our gang culture, she's getting raped. Wow. She's getting raped. And so I did say that some women need to be, and it's my belief in certain situations. In certain situations, I think it's okay to slap your woman.
Oh Jesus! Not by law.
Not by law.
Don't do that.
But I'm not saying nobody do nothing. I'm speaking our culture. Okay. If you affected by what I'm saying, how can you ignore this culture? If what I'm saying bothers you so much, you had R. Kelly for 20 years. You had Rick Ross who says, put a molly in her drink and she don't even know it. Man, I can take you back from Lil Wayne lyrics. They want sex slaves. They promote sex slaves.
Yes. And so with the rap, I agree, first of all, as far as the rap.
Now, I don't advocate rape. But if you look at our culture does. It advocates rape, violence, whooping women, leaving. It all promotes it. It advocates it. Not only that, it propagates it to our children. But you're offended by me going against it, but you're not affected by it being propagated through radio, television, movies, and culture.
Come on.
All right, so it's interesting you say that because one of the things that has allowed me as a man, as a father, even as a rapper to tune in is I've been torn for so long, right? It always seems it's hard to get people to hear what you're saying when everybody's yelling the same BS, right? But and you like, hey, just this little voice. And this is one of the reasons why I stopped making music, because it seemed like I'd be sitting there writing something. When I write it, I'm like, oh hell no. I'll give you a perfect example. I got a record called Couple Grand. price tag on your head, leave your land where you stand, right? When I was writing it, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna say the rawest, craziest stuff I could think of. When I wrote it, when I got finished with the first verse, it was just one verse and a hook. We sent it out to 1,500 DJs. Within 2 hours, like 1,300 of the 1,500 DJs replied, full email, we had a full song, we want a full song. And I sat there, rest in peace to DJ Dana. I looked at Dana and I said, Dana, I don't put it out here and I gotta go hard. He said, this is what you set it up to do, you gotta go hard. I said, man, but I just feel like I'm giving such a crazy message. Like, but that's what they want to hear. And I was like, you're right. And I finished this record off. And when I tell you that song, which wasn't my song, because it was Shout Low on the Man beat, whenever I touched down in the hood, they didn't want to hear it's going down. They didn't want to hear buy you a drink. When I was in the hood with the gangs and all the real, and these shows, concerts, they wanted to hear this song. And that was one of the things that resonated in me for a long time, because I got kids now. And it's like, how can I tell my kid one thing, and then these kids are so smart, they come back and like, yeah, I hear you, Dad, but you did say this, do this, you said kill him in front of his son. And here it is, we just a year ago, September the 14th, yes. Marked 2 years since my nephew was killed right in front of his dad. So, you know, it's one of those moments when I sit back and I say certain things, and it's not often we hear people give it as concentrated. I think you're like right now you like the coronavirus.
I had to purge my heart though.
You like the coronavirus. Let me say this, because you don't came out of nowhere. It seems that way. But you take it over to you. You like this new pandemic, and nobody knows what to do. Some people don't accept you. Some people like, man, I don't even want to talk to them. But I think we have no choice but to listen. I see.
I had to purge my heart before I came to the internet talking like this, because I was starting to hate my people. Man, if you bury after you bury so many kids and watch the mothers, you see the lawyers come through and play on the mothers after these shootings. You see the community. You see this kid die of blood, but the mother got to bury, but all the blood's at the funeral.
Right. No support though.
No support. So when you get to the graveyard and you sitting back and you're looking at all the people who's at the front row, at the casket, at the burial site, you see all the other guys around with the bandanas, all the gang colors, but you see the pain of the family. Man, I started to ask God, don't let my heart be hardened toward my own people.
Right.
I want to sell out, homie. Yeah. I wanted to sell out, homie. I want to be a guy that'll lock you up and hate you because I wanted to hate my own people, but it ain't no hate in my heart. So my prayer was, God, don't let my heart be hardened toward my own people. And that's how the character evolved. So this was an outlet for me to come to the internet and say, F you gangbangers. Man, F a dead rapper when we just had a baby die last night. Don't nobody know this baby's name. Matter of fact, what's the rapper's name? So I started saying, well, they only know the rapper. So when I went to Nipsey's funeral, trying to figure out, well, who is this Nipsey guy? Why everybody celebrate Nipsey in Texas, and we got all these other community leaders who've been struggling to do this? Why is he celebrated? Why don't he have a mural? So when I went to the funeral and learned about Earmus, it hit me. I said, all these people running around here smoking weed at this funeral for Nipsey, playing this rap message, but the family's mourning.
Right. Yes.
We holding on to the character. They missing the man.
Two different worlds.
Two different worlds. So why? So who is this man that we don't know past this character? So I try to get past the rap character and his image, because if we stay on Nipsey, he's just a rolling 60. If we get to Earmus, he was a great man.
Yes.
So let's get past this rapper and get to Earl Simmons. Why he was struggling with his addiction with God and he couldn't get over it. That'll help us open up the talks and conversations about addiction. But if we get stuck on DMX, we're gonna wait till the next rapper die and never address what was really affecting him.
Now, why do you feel these women need to be slapped though? Because I'm still on the slap. Why do you feel like you have to physically?
I feel like I need to slap my woman. She done slapped me before.
Okay. All right. So
her
that's
daughter walked up to me and slapped me. I done slapped her back.
You ain't around the house getting slapped around.
No.
I see them eyes over there like.
All right. So
her
that's
daughter walked up to me and slapped me. I done slapped her back.
You ain't around the house getting slapped around.
No.
I see them eyes over there like you got slapped a few times.
No. Man, listen, we ain't put play like, man, we ain't got no sister need to be hit across their head in some relationship.
Hey, come on now. I don't condone this.
I don't condone it either.
But they just say slap some sense into you. And I heard that
slapped across there. Some women need to be slapped. Mama, come on now.
You're right.
I ain't saying you supposed to slap your woman, but sometimes my woman needs to be slapped. Do I slap her now?
Please don't.
Do I slap her now? But boy, in my mind, I slapped the hell out of her. We hit our kids. Why we can't hit our women? We will inflict pain upon our kids and say, I'm doing this because I love you. Hurt people hurt people. Where do you think our kids learn to hurt? From us hitting them. God don't hit us. Spur the rod, spur the child, mean the rod of discipline, not the rod of whips and whips. So if we hit our children and beat them good, why I can't whoop my woman? When it used to be a law that says I can whoop a woman long as I didn't whoop her with a rule bigger than my thumb. That's where the rule of thumb law come from. So if we'll beat our kids, why I can't whoop my woman? Make it make sense to me.
Exactly. But
what's your with the rappers?
But if your words and your kids, you know, you raise your kids built on respect. My mom didn't have to whoop me. My mom could just look like I'm messing up and I would straighten up. I wasn't one of those children that needed to be whooped. So I guess it's your approach. And I don't think that you should beat your kids or your women into submission. It's some slave master stuff.
But I do that in comparison to show us that we pick and choose. Yep. I'm not a woman beater. I don't have that history, but I do that to show us that we pick and choose.
Think that you should beat your kids or your women into submission. It's some slave master stuff.
But I do that in comparison to show us that we pick and choose. Yep. I'm not a woman beater. I don't have that history, but I do that to show us that we pick and choose. Men will stand above our children
living contradictions
and say, I'm finna do this to you because I love you and I'm finna teach you. But if I'm telling my woman, baby, I'm finna slap because I love you and I teach you, it's the same concept.
We didn't sneak nothing in they drink. You lying. Sneak crack and train. We forcibly ran train. We forcibly used to white girls, and we used to sneak crack in the white girls' cigarettes to fuck them. We didn't sneak nothing in they drink. You lying on me. We didn't do the black girl like that. Only white girl, white boy. Now get mad now. Get mad.
Okay, everybody. Y'all there?
Yeah.
Yo, Paradigm, put on an avatar. You just like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, your camera. Yo, yeah. So I think, like, out of all the clips I've seen, I think that was probably the most disturbing one. Like, I can't remember what he said. Like, deal with that white boy. Like,
yeah,
it definitely came across disgustingly racist.
Yeah, that was not only disgustingly racist, but like that's just like I don't know. That's like he seems like in my book that would sign you off as a piece of shit human being.
Yeah, in my book that would sign you off as somebody who definitely needs help and stuff. I mean, honestly, maybe not that, or maybe help or just a piece of shit. But I think, like, ultimately, like something that really disturbs me with like guys like that is like this is where I wanted to take a step back and like because I know Aban Preach did like a video on this, but like a big issue I have with their video is I don't think their video actually tries to encapsulate his perspective of what he is also trying to say. Because I think most people have an agreed upon definition of consent rape passively without even defining it. Like, a lot of us just intuitively have a lot of the same ideas. That's why I wanted to kind of figure out what he was... Like, I wanted to know the exact concept, like, the exact context and, like, the depth of what he was trying to articulate. And now, like, it's kind of like it's more fleshed out. What he's basically saying is, if you're involved in promoting a rape culture, you know, what he's essentially trying to say is then, yeah, I guess you deserve what you got. You know, you deserve to get... yeah, I shouldn't use the word... Trying to use whatever I've said it a million times. If you're basically within a rape culture, you're basically signing yourself up to get raped. You know, that is not as bad as saying like, oh, we should go and like grape everyone. You know, but at the same time, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going through his mind when he said that. Like, that was just such a disgusting, vile comment. And I think this is, like, an issue with a lot of people within the rap and hip-hop community is when they come out and they sort of regretted their decisions, a lot of the times they still joke about it shamelessly. Or they talk about what they've done without any shame. Like Cardi B, drugging and raping men, then literally playing a role as a stripper. Like, you know, it just comes across as very shameless for what they've done. And I think it's something that disturbs a lot of people. And I don't know if this is just like something that's normalized in their culture or if this is like complete apathy and lack of sympathy for their own decisions. Because it's something that I've just noticed a lot, you know? And it doesn't seem to make very much sense to me, like, but it does seem like a lack of shame.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, like, it's interesting, like, really how much the rap culture is saturated with, um, really, grapey type lyrics, you know? Like, I remember going through the experience of, like, bopping my head to numerous songs, and then, like, later on reading the lyrics from those songs and, like, not realizing that, like, there was lyrics in there which promoted grape, you know? And, like, I was just like, "Oh, I just thought it was a banger," you know? Like, but, like, it's amazing how much, like, this stuff gets overlooked and these songs just get popular anyways. I don't know if you've had a similar experience or anything like that.
Me personally, I was never a fan of rap or anything. So, oh, HST disappeared.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That never happened to me, at least. That
Yeah.
I have listened to some songs that were like pretty messed up, but I think I always knew that that was the case. You know.
Yeah, true.
Oh my god, this live stream was kind of a bit of a fail. So like, at the beginning of the live stream, it was completely private.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm still kind of like figuring out how it works. Now it's not private. Now it's like public.
Oh, that would
So
explain why I like looked on your stream when I woke up and then I didn't see you streaming, but then you said you were, and I was like, oh, interesting.
yeah, it's God. I wish you told me about that.
Oh,
Because it's like because streaming are
figured
just go live. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I figured I just didn't notice it at the beginning of your channel, and I figured it must have been there.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm kind of like figuring out how to use this shit to begin with. It's just annoying as hell. But yeah, it's With that being said, I want to actually go a little bit deeper into this. So everyone meet up. We're gonna look at a few more things. Unless Chetty has something to say.
No.
Hey, Paradigm, Chatty, if you don't mind, if you can actually let the live stream like play on your end, that would give me some watch time. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it would help.
If you send me the link.
I mean, like, it's on my channel, dude. Jeez. Yeah, I'll send it. One sec. It's in the oh fuck. It's in the private chat here. Boom. What the hell? What the? It's saying it's a private video. Okay, what is going on here? One sec. Can somebody go to my channel and see if this is like? I don't think it's private anymore. Can somebody go to my
No,
channel?
your stream is up. I like turned it on, but like I can't watch it without like I can't mute it. Like it will be echoing in the background.
Wait, you can't mute my stream?
Not on my phone, no.
Okay, yeah, never mind. No. If you're on your phone, forget about it. Just forget about it.
For sure.
What the fuck? Oh man. This is how you shoot yourself in the foot. Oh well, you live and you learn, I guess. Oh, where the hell is it? Yo, Chetty? One sec.
Yeah.
Just give me a sec, guys. mind if I ask, like, what are your thoughts towards, I don't know, but do you understand, like, that there's a significance? Like, I think, like, the rapper guy, he admits what he did was rape. No, so the gangbanger guy, he admits what he did was rape. Yet, for some reason, like, Fresh and Fit, they don't seem to acknowledge that. Like, do y'all notice that? Like, he admits it as something that, you know, it is rape culture. Like, you know, he literally brought, like, these people brought someone on who literally, participated in rape culture, yet they themselves did not cognitively acknowledge it was rape culture.
Yeah, that's pretty sus, you know, when you think about it. Like, it definitely gave a really off vibe to it, you know? It makes you feel like there's something going on or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder about the. It makes you wonder about
got
the.
that vibe.
It makes you wonder, like, what do they consider as consent?
Definitely.
Like, what if a girl says maybe has had like a yes to the. But like, jokes aside, it just. Yeah, it does make you wonder what they consider to be consensual.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
And
Well,
unfortunate we can't just, like, you know, find out.
yeah, we can't mind read yet. We don't have the technology.
Nor do we, nor are we able to converse with them and just, like, directly ask them, you know.
Goddamn, I really fucked this. I really fucked this up. This live stream, but it is what it is. We'll continue. All right. Share screen. Share audio. Okay, so here's the next clip.
All right, I might have to bounce out.
You might have to dip out.
I might have to like dip for a little bit.
Well, I'm gonna like turn this up to probably like 2 times speed now.
You also, okay, what really caught a lot of people that day was you said that you raped white women growing up.
Yeah, white girls, not white women.
White
girls.
girls.
Trained on white girls.
Okay.
Never rape. Because we never got permission.
Okay.
Nobody gets permission when you're running trains. She don't know she finna fuck 5 niggas. She thinks she just finna fuck me. But she don't know it's some more niggas saying, hey man, leave the door open. Let me come on in. We didn't have one-on-one sex, nigga, growing up. How do you find out if a girl really like you? And when we was growing up, you try to run a train on her. And if she say no, then that's how you know she gonna be your girlfriend. She ain't a flipper. That's how we picked our girls. Every girl had to get pressured for this. Nigga, that was rape. Now that I've studied law and I work in the juvenile system and I went in the juvenile system and understand what we was doing. Coercion is rape. Having her come over and get her drunk, intending to sleep with her is rape. We don't know that, but we raping. When she get to the college and she start messing with the older senior, get over her and get her drunk, that's rape. When you pull up on her at the club, at the bar, nigga trying to get her drunk to go home with her, that's rape. But just because I don't say it like that, nigga, we all done raped before. This is a rape culture, hip hop. This is a violent, murderous, rape, drug addicted culture. It promotes rape. You can go back from songs in the 80s, nigga. E40, Sweet 16, man, they didn't even talk about fucking baby for a long time in the rap music. Now it's get intoxicated and fuck on. Give her a perk, give her a Xanax, put that liquor on top of her, hit this serve. Let me smoke this weed with me, and let's fuck, baby. We ain't allowing girls to fuck us with a sober mind. We don't give them that chance. I ain't got to say that, but the girls know what I'm saying. And by the way, so what if I'm on the platform talking about raping white women and killing white people? We have a whole genre that's played on our songs and our radios that talk about raping our women, killing us. It's promoted. They get to perform it on stages at halftime shows. They get to go on Jimmy Kimmel Live and talk and promote killing and raping us. How is it that all of this music can be directed at killing and raping us? There's no queen in hip hop music. They don't treat women like ladies, and a woman in hip hop is a hoe or a bitch. How is everybody so? But you know why? Because I said white girls and white women. Don't nobody care about raping and killing black folks.
Why do you feel like people took it? We listen to music every day and they say that, but when you said it, it was
Nigga,
World War III.
Can't nobody imagine doing nothing to white people. This nigga said, do what to white people? Nigga, ban him. Don't let him speak again. That nigga talking about her massa. That nigga talking about her Miss Lily. He talking about taking Miss Lily pussy. That's the most horrific thing that anybody in America can think about. A big dick nigga taking a white girl pussy and killing the slave master. That's the biggest fear in America. It even scares slaves. Nigga like me coming to the plantation. Master George done bought me from somewhere else. They done shipped me in from Haiti. And I show up on the new plantation talking like this. And all the other slaves say, man, that nigga sounding crazy. Master, you need to get rid of him, master. He talking about doing some things, master, and disrupting shit. Imagine if rappers start talking about kill a white man, rape a white girl, fuck a white bitch.
shoot a white boy dog, kill his parent, poison his white baby fish, shoot up the white man's mama house. So imagine, see, nobody can imagine these songs being sung with beats behind it. So here I am coming with this outlandish motherfucking delivery. And I'm saying it's done like that to us in some most outlandish motherfucking rap delivery ways. And I'm just hypothetically talking. They reality rapping. Meaning there's people dying with the shit they saying. That's where their lyrics come from, the deaths. I'm just saying, hey, how is it that all this can be promoted and propagated to us? Our people, our children. But you mean to tell me can't nobody imagine? I can. It's them spirits of the ancestors, my nigga. I don't know where this shit come from. I don't know how I'm digging so deep down off of my soul and my spirit to represent. Most white women is sitting around in the job, at the schoolhouse, in the nurse's office, at the doctor's office, looking at every black print come through that. Yeah, unbeknownst to us, but I know their secrets.
Real life. Real life street stars. No time.
So see, I gotta ask you. You have 5 black police officers.
Yeah.
One small black little country town, white little Caucasian lady, and they doing all kind of vile shit throughout the police department, around the corner, off duty, on duty. And her husband says, everyone gets fired. Her husband chooses to stay with her, and now she's getting bookings at strip clubs for 10 racks. She's the talk of the town. What are your thoughts when you see? And she says she's gonna sue the police department because they allowed these black men and they groomed her to get tossed all around by these police officers. What are your thoughts when you see a story like that?
That nigga Torpedo is a motherfucker. Yeah, that nigga Dick is in and out of uniform. That nigga Dick is a motherfucker.
She tried to throw the sergeant in there, though. Like, man, the sergeant knew about these things.
He was a black nigga.
Oh, damn.
Everybody black around.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, everybody black around. Let me just say this right now. Them police hoes be some freaky bitches. And they fuck more than 3-4 guys on the force. If you married to a police woman, you're not a policeman, policeman gonna be fucking your woman. They set it up like that. She not lying. Everyone, listen, and I hate to tell them I'm a police buddy. Yeah, I hate to tell them I'm a police buddy, but they be happy when I tell them I'm a street nigga, so I tell on everybody. Yeah, there's no favoritism.
Yeah, you tell the police, okay, we
I
go
tell
there.
them on the police too. Captain Shedd, Fort Worth Police Department. Captain Shedd got fired. Nigga Captain Shedd was a very honorable white cop. But nigga Captain Shedd was over down at the police academy with that dick in his hand, training and teaching like a motherfucker, fucking all at the same time. This normal behavior. In the military, it's normal behavior for this to go on. Nigga, they gonna run trains on them. And most white women want multiple big black dicks. Most white women are sitting around in the job, at the schoolhouse, in the nurse's office, at the doctor's office, looking at every black print come through that motherfucker. Unbeknownst to us, but I know their secrets. Y'all know their secrets. All white women want to be trained and fucked by multiple black men. They want that. That's why the white men hate niggas. That's the only reason racism exists.
You paint a picture. Hold on.
That's the only reason racism exists. She was wrongfully fired because superiors were fucking her. And they didn't fire the dude, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, they fired the dude too?
I think they suspended without pay, let's say.
But they fired her.
Oh, yeah, she first to go.
She got a good case.
Oh, yeah.
There
was a superiority there.
Yeah, she got a good case. And then, but the goat of all this is her husband. He the motherfucker. Yeah, he my kind. Yeah, stay with your hoe, nigga. Yeah, you know what you had when you married her.
Okay.
Yeah, like your woman, she know what she got fucking with you. So, yeah, stay with him. Yeah, she stayed. Yeah, no, I mean, that's his wife. For better or for worse, to death do us part. That's how you honor your values.
Okay, so don't run in the first sign of 5 black niggas' opinion.
Maybe that's what he liked too. Maybe he liked the idea of 5 well-hung uniformed police officers fucking his wife handcuffed in the back of the police car down off in the ghetto where they sell crack.
Oh shit!
Maybe that's fancy. Only for her to drive home with her pussy wore out, cum dripping down her leg. She got a stench of nigga on her and come home and fuck him. Maybe that's their role play fantasy. On Thursday nights you fuck all the niggas at work. Come home with that nigga stench on you and fuck me and this body live happily ever.
There's one last clip, and this is like probably the most disturbing one. So yeah, what was it? We're pretty much just about done here. But yo, Paradigm, you there? Yo, Paradigm? Give me 1 sec.
No, I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Okay, give me a sec, Jenny. Just 1 sec. You can give your opinion to the audience. I'll be back in 1 sec.
Grapes are bad. That's what I think. But the fruit grapes, masterpiece. One of my favorite fruits, actually. I also don't think that we should respond to racism with the other way racism. This guy's racist. Shouldn't double racist. That's bad. See, I want to say something racist, but no, that's evil.
Hey, you there? You there? Oh.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, he definitely does kind of seem like a racist to me so far. What do you think, Chatty?
Oh, yeah, I said the same thing.
I think like it seems very telling when somebody actually talks about whenever people start to look at humans from a they tend to divide humans and their treatment in a racial manner, and then they start to draw comparison towards other races. Like there's a fine line in understanding disparities um, and then wanting either inclusion, disinclusion of certain groups of people towards treatments. Like when most people talk about like gang banging and raping and blah blah blah, this, that, the third, killing people in like rap music, they're not thinking about they're not thinking about most people aren't thinking about the ethnicity or the race or the color of people. In fact, probably most kids, like when I was a kid, I didn't think this is only happening to black people killing black people. I just thought it was gang banging when I heard, rap music. I thought it'd probably be mostly black people because these people grew up in a probably black neighborhood. But like even then, I didn't know that either way. So like when he talks, like I think like the reason why people are upset is because he's like singling out a race of people while talking about doing it to one specific race. It shows like a racial prejudice, and like throughout history, this is pretty like racial prejudice and racial treatment is pretty normal when you have like a war mindset, like the Vikings. You treat the out group differently than the in group. But that's the reason why people are so disturbed by it. It's a type of mindset that doesn't really serve any purpose in the modern day when it comes to utility or rights. Or at least in my opinion, I don't think it does. Your thoughts on that?
How racism's bad.
Yep. Well, it's a mindset, right? Like, it's the entire framing that he creates of the argument that people do not get upset when black people are talking about killing black people. A lot of black people they're not necessarily showing a prejudice against a particular race when they're talking about killing or doing all these terrible things. You know? Yo, Chatty.
Yeah.
You agree with me or not?
Yeah, I think I agree.
Alright, well, last clip, this is where it gets most disturbing.
You're not streaming.
Shit. Okay. Fuck. I forgot to stream. Okay. Here we go. Let's get into it.
I'm not trying to make a bunch of non-productive men on the internet who don't own businesses, who don't own a house, who don't have money saved up. I'm not trying to get a bunch of broke ass niggas to understand me, nigga. And you niggas ain't gonna come build with me. You niggas ain't gonna buck down police officer like I do, nigga. Fuck you nigga need to understand me for, nigga. You niggas don't know what it's like to stand over a white man and watch him die. You nigga won't even brag about raping a white bitch, nigga. Fuck how you niggas go understand a nigga like me, nigga. The way I talk and the way I walk. You niggas is docile, subservient. You niggas ain't standing up bucking no motherfucking sister. You can't understand no nigga like me, son. You gotta go get a job. Not me. I wish I would.
Hey, Post, this is Big C. Hey, Charles, don't you supposed to be in Memphis this week?
Say that again?
Don't you supposed to be in Memphis this week?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, where you gonna be at?
In your ass? Why? Nigga, if you know I'm supposed to be there.
I heard you on your bus now.
Yeah. Why you got me?
Because I'm a Memphis nigga. I'm in Memphis.
Yeah, nigga, why you got me on the platform then? Nigga asked me where I'm gonna be if you heard me. Nigga,
you say you gonna be in Memphis this week. Now you talking to a big dog in Memphis.
Yeah, nigga, get me on the platform and have me all these quick. What I heard you say, nigga. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You said all that bad shit, right? All right, check it out. Now you fucking with the right one.
Yeah.
Yo, Memphis ass up out of here.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, y'all. That nigga mad in the motherfucker. Yeah, black man can't handle rejection.
He was joking.
Why I'm gonna be in Memphis? Nigga, what? My woman can't even ask me all them questions.
Man, that's your bitch fault. That ain't my fault.
Yeah. Question like,
no,
okay,
what I'm
what
saying.
you mean,
That shit you playing. That
Yeah,
shit you playing.
you still
The chickens gonna come home to roost on your ass.
Yeah, you still.
See, everybody.
You still talking.
Out there, fool, and you playing.
Yeah, you still
your
talking.
ass up out of here, Memphis.
Yeah, that nigga still talking. Keep crying. There's too many women in here to be crying like that. Yeah, too many women here to be crying like that, bro.
Y'all hear the shit?
That nigga
When the man get on his ass.
You don't sound like
Nah, Big C, I don't hear that, Big C. I don't hear that, bro. I don't hear.
Why you think he talking over nigga, bro?
Nah, Big C, think about it, bro.
Ain't shit to think about, home.
All right, bro, you got it. You got it, Memphis.
Like this is crazy.
Big C, you got it.
Hey man, let me speak, bro.
He about to be little C, he can talk.
Let me speak, bro.
No, ain't never be no Lucy, home.
Yo, hold on, one mic.
Big C, hold on, one mic. Let me get the floor. Let me get the floor real quick. Yo, look, let's speak real quick. Big C, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to speak, my brother. Let me just say something. Yo, we try to everybody try to be respectful. You know, Charleston the wild card. We know everybody. We gonna keep
One mic, yo, mute up.
I don't want nobody to be threatening nobody and all that shit, because that ain't what we do over here. You want to send threats and all that? Find another room for all that, man. We're gonna talk civilized here. Charles, I heard what Charleston said. I don't condone what he said to you, but let's just try to get it back. Let's try to reel it back in, man. And y'all come to an understanding, even if it's a mutual disagreement.
Hey, listen. Let's just be honest. He go get me on here and ask me, "You gonna be in Memphis this week?" Yeah. Where you gonna be at? As if I'm gonna conceal my location on this open forum, homie. Why would he do that? So yeah, nigga, I'm gonna be in your ass, nigga. Since you wanna ask dumb, stupid questions, homie. Come on, grown man. Why you want to know where I'm gonna be, nigga? I ain't interested in where no nigga go be. I look at you niggas sideways. You internet niggas with so much hot steam. Nigga, when the last time you fought the child support system, nigga, for better paternity rights? You niggas got all this hot steam on here, nigga. But you niggas ain't got the steam like me with the work in the community, but you got so much hot steam. I think you niggas jealous of me, because y'all hearing all these women say I'm really a superhero in my community, and you niggas is zeros. That's why you niggas get so mad when I say just the tightest itty bitty thing to make you feel uncomfortable. I call it playing in your cyber pussy. Lay back and put your cyber legs in there, nigga. Let me stroke that. Lay back and put your cyber legs in there since you niggas so sensitive. The black women is just sitting back spectating and observing and looking at these black men who lack conflict resolution skills. I'm telling these niggas, I'm in character. They supposed to brush me off. It ain't that serious. Now nigga on here making $1 to take this shit that serious. Brush me off.
Yo,
I ain't
Big C, go ahead. You want to respond? Big C, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, here you go. This is what I'm saying. He said he was going to be in Memphis. I said, okay, cool. He didn't want to say where he's going to be.
So the way you said it, you got to admit, Big C, the energy that you said it in.
I didn't say I have no energy, bro. I asked him.
Yeah, you did, homie.
I said, you will be in Memphis this week. He said, yeah, where the fuck you think you'll be? So he immediately got defensive.
Nah, Big C.
Ho.
Hey, Big C, the thing that was missing. Hey, Big C, the thing that was missing was
if he was to disclose that information, that could be not in his best interest. So I understand where he was coming from. So he might have thought you was joking.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm listening to his energy.
That's why I told you. That's why I told you, bro.
I'm listening to his energy and his approach. I don't know this nigga. I don't know this nigga. I don't know who he is. Why would this guy on the internet be asking me where my world box go be? I got all these threats. Why would this nigga be asking? Why would he want to know that? Why would he publicly want to know that though?
Now post it. That's why I see. I know post it. He posted a rap for a minute. Now post can tell you, brother. Listen here, man, and let me finish too. I ain't no regular nigga, bro. I'm a nigga that you want to know in Memphis. You did? Because you don't know.
Hold you down. He gonna hold you down.
Hold on. Let me finish, bro. Because see, you don't know the navigation of the land around here. So you can go somewhere and get put out of pocket by the motherfuckers that brought you here or who you coming to see. You don't know what the fuck the land is.
You don't work with law enforcement.
I'm through with that then.
You don't work with law enforcement, nigga. You don't know who's bringing me to Memphis. You don't know. You don't work with the sheriff's department. You don't work with the Shelby County Sheriff's Department.
You don't know who I know down there.
You don't work with the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, nigga.
I'm through posted.
Yeah, I'm the nigga. You ain't nobody I need to know in Memphis, nigga.
Okay then. Okay. All right, smarty out there.
Can I ask you a question? You ain't nobody I need to know, nigga.
Get that little C-ass nigga about it.
Go ahead, post.
Nah, don't do that, bro.
Big C.
Bro, you
Nah, I respect his position, man. I understand. Look, we're not trying to promote no beef between the brothers, man.
Not no beef, bro. Listen here, man.
You ain't no nigga I need to know, nigga. Don't nobody want to know no nigga talking on
down a little bit, ass nigga. Let me tell you something again. Post it. Like I said, I'm gonna tell everybody that's in the audience, and you shut your little motherfucking mouth. So you're a funny motherfucker. I mean, I asked that ass every other day, but you talk that shit to them poor ass niggas.
I bet you.
Look, I just moved C to the audience, man, because I don't want this shit to keep on going. So both of them being on stage right now is just gonna keep the shit going, man. So the best way to do is separate motherfuckers.
Hey, homie, listen.
So C, I don't mean no harm, bro. I just want to put water on this shit.
Why would a nigga want to know my whereabouts, homie? And why you want to publicly know? See, I'm listening to these black men. We've been on here for hours. How many resources have we exchanged? How many alternatives have we come up with? How many dates have we set where we can say, hey, homie, let's get together, let's meet up. We going back and forward. This is where I'm getting turned off at, nigga. These nigga asking dumb questions. Homie, we ain't accomplished nothing in this go round. It's more niggas want to talk. What happened to the women? Let's hear from them.
Yeah,
because we can't say something. We can't get it together, fella. We bickering like bitches and hoes. Let the women lead the conversation and let us step back.
I got a question. One more. This is the last one, Charleston. If you send me a follow too, if you can. But my question is, you elicit emotions, real good. You have to give for gab. Did you study that somewhere, or is that something that just came natural for you? Because I see that some things that you say, I'm talking, like I said before, you're dead wrong. But when you kind of explain it and bring it back full circle, it's almost like, damn, you make me think. So, did you learn this, or this is your?
I learned it in professional speech class. They taught me how to use the first 3 to 4 sentences to grab an audience attention.
Oh, my God.
You either use factual statements, you say something controversial, or you do something to go shock and awe, and you got their attention. That's how you captivate a crowd. Out of $10,000 last month.
You rape white woman?
You goddamn right. We grew up raping white hoes, nigga.
Let's get it.
Running trains on them white bitches.
Let's look.
Yeah, we grew up raping white bitches in the South, nigga. And they my Facebook friends right now today.
Hold on, bro. Yo, look.
Yeah, and they my Facebook friends right now today, nigga. Yeah, them same white bitches my Facebook friends.
Yo, Charleston, hold up, Charleston, hold up.
50 Shades of Grey.
Hold up,
yeah, they start writing movies.
And I think we're ready for like the final conclusions, final thoughts. Chatty Paradigm, what's up?
Hey, sorry, I actually just got back. I missed a lot of that because I was saying goodbye to a relative.
Saying something. No worries. He said the thing at the end. He just like, like a big part of what we do is try and get something that I try and do is in speech class I learned how to use either factual statements or to shock people within your first 3 sentences. And I do sometimes wonder if, like, he just tries to, like, I sometimes wonder if he just tries to, like, manipulate intention by, like, saying inflammatory things after he just said that statement at the end. And, it's just, like, it's also how he talks about, like, our people. Like, when he refers to our people, he's usually whatever, he usually uses tribal, I'm probably not, like, quoting him properly, but he uses, like, tribal in language towards people of his own ethnicity within the United States. So, like, this is kind of just a very common thing I've noticed among some African Americans on the internet. Obviously, this doesn't generalize all of them, but, like, I've just noticed there is a portion of African Americans that talk like this, particularly, like, millennials and Gen Y and, like, you know, older, usually like 30 years old and up, usually tend to talk with, like, really tribal in-group language. Yeah, so my final thoughts on this guy is I think he is a racist. Or at least better, like, when I refer to racist, I mean, like, I usually refer to, like, people that do unjustified racial discrimination, like, or, what was it, or what was the other term, or they believe in racial superiority. Like, for example, if I'm a black guy, if I go to a black barber because I believe, like, in a black neighborhood, because I believe a black, black barber is probably going to be more experienced with cutting curls. That's not quite the same as, like, something that I think is completely unjustified. Just giving, like, an example, right? But I think this guy is a racist, and I think he does have, like, I don't think he has a justification for how he has this tribal mindset. So yeah, I want to hear y'all's opinion. Actually, yeah. Paradigm, Chatty?
I mean, it's kind of unclear to me what he thinks. I thought that he was saying that all this stuff is bad, right? But like, yeah, that when he says, like, yeah, we grew up raping white women, he's saying that's a hook to get people's attention. But
is it?
I mean, isn't that what he said, or no?
No. Like, I'm agreeing with you. Like, it's unclear. Like, he talks about this thing about, like, he talks about raping white women with such lack of shame. It's impossible to tell what he really thinks. Like,
Yeah.
does he really think this is something bad, or does he think this is something bad, but because he has this, like, this idea that black people are treated differently, he just doesn't care. Like, you know, it almost comes across like it's either it's just it's a means of backtracking, or it comes across as if he thinks that there's some sort of racial double standard towards black victims of violent and sexual crime in comparison to white victims, when in reality he's actually just racializing it. Like, if a white person went on social media talking about shooting, killing, and raping black people, I think there'd be a riot. I think BLM would be going crazy. I don't think that there's, like, some sort of double standard. If anything, I think people are more sensitive towards mistreatment of African Americans on the macro level, on the big level. I think there's just a huge amount of support for, like, fair treatment of African Americans after, like, a long history of being dealt a really hard hand in the United States through not only slavery, but then also the war on drugs and the incarceration of a lot of African American fathers, and the fact that when slaves were freed, there was no reparations, thus putting them at an economic disadvantage in comparison to, like, European settlers. Paradigm or Chatty. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys can continue.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe I'm too autistic for this type of analysis, but like, if we were talking about, like, what kinds of things I think are moral or not moral, or even, like, scientific claims, like, that's something that I would have an easier time with, versus, like, oh, what is this guy saying? He's like ranting about gangs and raping white women. I mean, I don't know if I can really analyze this accurately. Like, what does he actually think? Is that like what the question is?
I thought that was what the question was. I think so.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah, I
mean,
don't know.
yeah. I thought it was interesting. You could almost hear pride in his voice, while he was it's talking about such a violent and despicable past. It felt like more than just activated me, and very off-putting.
It's just it's echoing stuff.
Shit. Oh yeah, I had myself muted. So like when we're talking about something like this type of culture, like there's just so many things that go through my mind. One of which is maybe these people are they've been so far desensitized to these types of behaviors that the way they talk about it doesn't always fully betray all their feelings. Maybe it just betrays the apathy that they feel because they've been through it and they lived through it. Or maybe they're not ashamed at all, and every time they claim that rape is wrong. I've said rape so many times. Every time they claim rape is wrong, maybe it's all just bullshit. So maybe they're just too far in. Maybe it's just bullshit. Or here's another thing. Maybe they just don't realize how they come across. But I think regardless, I think Charleston White is racist. And I think it's really fucked up. But I think I want to definitely leave it on this note. Like, I think I want to play this one more time for y'all. One sec. It's just... Who the fuck is typing? Chatty, I'm gonna mute. Chatty, mute yourself. Jesus. I think the reason why I wanted to play that one more time is just to really encapsulate in case anyone just popped in at the end. And by the way, he said later on, for anyone who just like joined the clip, he said later on like, it's not that I promote this or anything. It's just that people are participating in this, and why are they participating in this while getting upset with what I'm saying? Paradigm, you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, unfortunately, I think I hate to break it to you, my dude, but I think it was like muted or something because the audio wasn't coming through for me. And then I just went and checked on the live stream, and I didn't hear any audio on there either.
God damn it. I'll go through this one more time. One sec.
For sure.
I'll make this. No. Thank you. Don't apologize. Thank you for letting me know. Fuck. I keep fucking that shit up.
Yeah.
Women can use some raping or need some raping.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I can hear.
Most people don't realize that rap culture is rape culture. Rap culture is rape culture. We don't learn how to have consensual sex in rap.
All right.
Later. There's no justification and leave. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable when it comes down to the whole conversation and where you guys stand on that.
Bye. All right.
Later.
Bye.
There's no justification.
Just leave.
All right.
Bye.
2 more minutes.
How you feel versus what's real are two different things.
All right. Later. Bye.
We've debunked culture. Culture is a myth.
Grape culture is a myth. You literally had a grapist on and you didn't say a fucking word to him. I don't know. I'm gonna call it grape culture. I don't like that term either. But it do seem like you protecting your own. Just saying. When they talk about how these men protect each other, that's not.
Okay, so I think that's kind of what I wanted to leave the note on. This guy, so Charleston White, even though he's like, I think he's a racist, even though I think he's like very tribal with how he talks, even though I think he's a little bit delusional, and even though I think he's, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if in his heart of hearts he really means everything that he says, that he actually regrets all the rape that he's done. But he just talks like someone who's shameless. Like, is that a possibility, like a charitable interpretation? Sure. Is there a possibility that he's just inconsistent and, he just sort of regrets it? Not really. Yeah, that's a possibility. But regardless, Charleston White admits it's a rape culture. He himself has been a criminal. Like, he's gone through this. He's supported a rape culture. He admits it. Yet, Fresh and Fit, I just find it really funny that they had him on his channel and they're arguing that they've quote-unquote debunked rape culture while bringing someone on who literally was a part of it and promoted it. And I guess to an extent, he even tries to make people aware that they are, I think to an extent he's trying to make people aware that a portion of rap culture is rape culture, in his own words. And I just find this disgusting and worth condemning, and I just find it interesting too because it's so much worse when you actually look at it. So I guess everyone's final thoughts, and we can kind of probably end the stream here. What's your thoughts, Paradigm?
Yeah, I mean, the guy definitely strikes me as deplorable, the way that he, presents his lack of empathy. And I think it's true, we can sit here and postulate all day about what his psychology might be behind that, and I don't, obviously there's no easy way to verify any of that, but I can definitely see where you're coming from calling him racist. It does come across that way. And yeah, I mean, overall, he's the type of person I would like to keep as far distance from me as possible and my loved ones. He definitely gives me that kind of vibe.
I mean, honestly, I don't really. My vibe I get from this guy is, if he does, let's just say in a hypothetical, he doesn't regret all the fucking terrible shit he's done. We're just gonna pretend in a hypothetical he doesn't regret any of this terrible shit. This is my opinion. I don't think he probably would do any of these crimes again. I think those are two different things. the impression I have from this guy is just that he's outspoken. And I think, like, when you've, like, what was it? When terrible things have happened to you, really traumatic things, like, it sometimes, like, it plays over in your head over and over again. Sometimes, like, this happened to me with sexual assault. Sometimes it's easy to emotionally just not care. But, like, when I think about this guy, I think regardless, like, we can speculate his psychology. Maybe he's full of shit. Maybe he's inconsistent. But regardless, I think something that maybe he should realize is how he talks about this is just inappropriate. Like, I wish I could, like, just have a little conversation with this guy and just say, hey, man, you know, if you really regret what you did, maybe you should acknowledge how you talk about this as highly insensitive and inappropriate. And if we look at how BLM, like how black people have been treated, and BLM and their protests and Antifa, I think it's pretty obvious that there is concern with the treatment of African Americans in the United States. Inferiority complex mindset.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but you might have been cutting out there a little bit.
Yeah, he cuts out for me too.
Like, if you're speaking right now, we can't hear you. I feel like something might be wrong with his mic or his connection or something.
Whoa, what the fuck?
You doubled yourself.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's happening here? Whoa, okay, here we go. I think this is a little better. So can you hear me without a double?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's like, it would be good to just have a conversation with this guy and just explain to him that when we look at BLM, when we look at what has historically happened, there does definitely seem to be concern for African Americans. It would be nice if someone just sat him down. But I think when somebody has this mindset of being underprivileged or being a less socioeconomic privileged status group or a less privileged group in some shape or form, you know, whatever it could be within society's empathy. It could be, and some white people feel like that. Some people feel like they're less sympathized because of their past, because of the historical issues of slavery in the United States. Some white people feel underprivileged because of the fact that African Americans are more likely to have financial assistance because of reparations, etc., black-only colleges. But whenever you have a group of people that feel like they are less privileged in any shape or form, whether this be women, men, white people, black people, brown people, First Nations, whatever, sometimes it's easy to develop this a mindset that people do not care as much about you. And it's easy to develop this mindset that is very similar to a victim mindset. And that's kind of how he comes across to me. And it'd be nice if honestly, I'd be more than happy to sit down and just talk with him and try to explain with him the issue of how he articulates himself and why people aren't really going to take him seriously with how he talks. You know, and there's one more thing. There's one more thing really important. I don't think people are going to take reformed criminals or reformed offenders seriously with the way he presents himself as well. So I think it's also a net negative for his activism for youth. Yeah, so Paradigm Chatty, y'all can give your opinion.
I was just gonna say that, you know, maybe if you could get through to him that there's a certain sensitivity around these subjects that is warranted when it comes to keeping in mind how the victims of situations like these may feel and how the traumas may represent themselves, it's important that we try to conduct ourselves in a very respectful and sensitive manner. And if you can somehow convey that to him, maybe that could do a lot of good.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be, yeah, like I said, we can speculate psychology, but at the end of the day, it would just be nice to have a little chat with them. But yeah, I'm updating this to have your thumbnail in there. Chatty, do you have any final thoughts? Because if not, I think we're kind of done here.
No.
All right. Paradigm, any more final thoughts on this?
No, I think I've said basically all I have to say.
All right, well, yeah, Fresh and Fit, they really need to wake up to the perspectives of who they're inviting onto their channel. Because if you're going to bring someone on your channel who promotes, who
No, he died again.
Yeah, I don't know. You seem to have stopped.
Goddamn, my internet. I'm duplicated again. Okay, yeah, so Fresh and Fit is going to welcome someone onto their podcast who in their past has promoted rape culture. I think it's time to take a step back. I think it's time for them to take a step back and look at their argumentation. And actually evaluate their consistency. Or their logic, or their lack thereof. The manosphere is filled with a lot of emotional people who want to see themselves as rational, who are projecting. And a lot of people go into the manosphere in this type of content because of emotional issues. It's not because they're logical people. Logical people usually go towards things like philosophy or things that are more intellectually engaging, science, etc. Quote unquote nerds. But yeah, I think we're done here for this stream. Thank you for joining us. Go check out Paradigm's. You go check out Paradigm's YouTube channel. I'll leave Chatty's Discord in the description down below. And yeah. Or maybe, I don't know, for Chatty. But yeah, so thank you for watching, everyone. And have an amazing 24 hours.
All right, I think we just leave.
I guess so.
All right, peace out, Doc.